Okay, very good morning, students. Today we continue our lecture with the Unit 2 Sequence and Series, and topic is Introduction of Series. So, before going to start series, let's take a short review of yesterday's lecture, that is sequence. Okay, so anyone tell me about the sequence? What is sequence? What is sequence? Anyone? Let me know in the chat box. What is sequence? Yes, Priyansh, you are right. Kushal, very good. Yes, Hetvi, you are also right. What about others? Other students, what is sequence? Yes, Yogesh, Raj Morad. Yes, Utsav. Okay, Abhi, Rayan Khan, Dipen, Sonil, very good. I expect the same answer from all of you. See, the students' sequence is if U1 here, if U1, U2, U3 up to UN and up to so on is an infinite sequence. It means it is a number pair or a real number set, right? So if we have U1, U2, U3 up to UN up to so on is an infinite sequence of real number, then the sum of the terms of the sequence, that is u1 plus u2 plus u3 plus up to un and plus up to infinity is called an infinite series. Okay, so what is the difference between sequence and series? Student, sequence is the set of terms, that is u1, u2, u3 up to un, and it may be infinite. If we get summation of these all terms, then that sequence will convert into the form of series. This is sequence and this one is series. Okay. Hope you got the difference between the sequence and series. So we may say that sequence is a set of numbers in a specific order and the series is the summation of that numbers, or we can say the summation of that terms, right? Now, for infinite series, the notation of the infinite series, suppose we have an infinite series u1, u2, u3 up to un and plus up to infinity. Then the summation for denoting this infinite series, that is summation n1 to infinity un. Okay, this is the notation to represent an infinite series, right? And this Sn is the sum of its first n terms. Sn is what? Sn is the sum of its first n term. If we want to represent the sum of first n term, then in the short manner we represent by it is Sn. Okay. Now for the convergence, divergence and oscillation of series. For that, let's consider we have an infinite series, that is summation n1 to infinity un is equal to u1 plus u2 plus u3 plus up to un and plus up to infinity. Now the sum Sn is what? Sum of first n term u1, u2, u3 up to un. Okay. Now three possibilities are there. Number one, if Sn tends to finite limit, if Sn tends to finite limit as n tends to infinity, it is common for all three possibilities. If n tends to infinity, at that time, if Sn tends to finite limit, then the series summation n 1 to infinity un is convergent. Number two, as n tends to infinity, if Sn tends to plus or minus infinity, plus or minus infinity, at that time, then summation n1 to infinity un is divergent. And number three, if Sn does not tend to unique limit, does not tend to unique limit as n tends to infinity, then the series summation n1 to infinity un is oscillatory. Okay, students, understand? When as n tends to infinity, if the sum of first n term Sn have a finite limit, then our series is convergent. If the sum of first n term Sn tends to plus or minus infinity, plus infinity or minus infinity. Okay, listen carefully. If Sn tends to plus infinity or minus infinity, then the series is divergent. And if Sn does not tend to unique limit, if it has more than one limit, then the series is oscillatory. Okay, any doubt? Okay, Dev, no issue. So if you have any doubt, then let me know in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll move for the next topic. Okay. So now the properties of infinite series. See, number one, first property is the convergence. Devarsh, ma'am, please show me the second slide. Uh, which slide? This one? Devarsh? Any doubt, Devarsh? Okay. Now, the property of the infinite series, the first property is the convergence or divergence of an infinite series remains unaffected by addition or removal of a finite number of a finite number of terms. What does it mean? Suppose if we have a series, we have an infinite series, okay, like that, and this series is convergent. Now, if we add some finite number of terms in this series, if we add some finite number of terms in this series, then this series also remain the convergent. In infinite series, if that series is convergent and if we add some finite number of terms, then that series remain the convergent. Similarly, if series is divergent, then by adding some finite number of terms, it remains the divergent. Doesn't make any effect on the convergence or divergence by adding some finite number of terms. Okay? Similarly, if we remove some number of terms by an infinite series, then also it doesn't affect any on the convergence and divergence. What happened? Ma'am, we are left with number 2, that is here. By multiplication of by multiplication of such term by multiplication of each term with a finite number. It doesn't make any difference on the convergence and divergence of an infinite series. It means, again, if we have any infinite series and if we multiply that each term with any finite number, if k is any finite number, and if we multiply by k each term of that series, then again it remains same or it remains unaffected, the convergence of divergence of that series. Okay, so these two properties please keep in your head. Now the next property is number 2. Suppose we have a 2 series, number 1 series, that is 1 to infinity un, and the other series n1 to infinity vn. If both series are convergent, then summation n 1 to infinity un plus vn also convergent. But the third one, summation n 1 to infinity un and summation n 1 to infinity vn are divergent, are divergent, then summation n 1 to infinity un plus vn may be convergent, may be convergent. So it means we say that if we have a two series, if both are convergent, then the summation of that two series is must be convergent. But if we have a two different series that are divergent, then the summation of that two series may be convergent or may be divergent. And if we have two different series, one is convergent and one is divergent, then we cannot predict anything. It depends on the particular series and the particular sum. Okay. So have you any doubt in the property of the infinite series? Let me know in the chat box. Have you any doubt? Okay. So we'll move with the the nth term test for divergence. The nth term test for divergence. So if a positive term series, if a positive, this word is important, if a positive term series summation n1 to infinity un is convergent, then limit n tends to infinity un equal to 0. The converse is not true. Like if limit n tends to infinity un equal to 0, it is not necessary that the series will be convergent. It is not necessary that the series will be convergent. Okay, so let's take a small example for this converse statement. That is, suppose we have a series summation n 1 to infinity un equal to 1 plus 1 upon root 2 plus 1 upon root 3 plus up to 1 upon root n plus up to infinity. It means we have an infinite series. Okay, so let's check the limit of n tends to infinity un. That un means nth term, and our nth term, that is 1 upon root n. So limit n tends to infinity 1 upon root n, and our answer is 0. Okay, so first we prove that if limit n tends to infinity un equal to 0, then it is not necessary that the series will be convergent. So we have to prove that this series will be divergent or oscillatory, but this is not convergent. So for that, let's take sum of the first n term, that is 1 plus 1 upon root 2 plus 1 upon root 3 up to plus 1 upon root n. Students, this series is greater than, strictly greater than 1 plus 1 upon root n plus 1 upon root n plus up to plus 1 upon root n. Okay, see, compare both. The first term is 1 here, here also 1. And the last term is 1 upon root n. So here last term is also 1 upon root n. But the middle term, this is 1 upon root 2. And this n is greater than 2. So as denominator is bigger, the value is smaller. So 1 upon root 2 is greater than 1 upon root n. Similarly, 1 upon root 3 is greater than 1 upon root n. And same for the other terms. That's why the summation of this term is greater than summation of this term. Okay? Agree? Now, give me the answer of the summation of the last n term. This one. What is the summation of this? Anyone? What is the summation of this? If I want to represent Sn is greater than, what is the summation? Kushal. I'm going to unmute you, Kushal. Please let me know how this answer occur. I'm going to unmute you, Kushal. Let me know how your answer occur. Yes, Kushal. Yes, Kushal. Let me. I'm going to unmute you. Let me know how your answer occur. Kushal, I'm asking to Kushal Trivedi. Your answer is right, but how? Just Kushal Trivedi, roll number 95.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you tell me that answer is n upon root n, right? But how?
Yes, yes.
But how?
That one is repeating till n terms, we can say.
N is
That
repeating n time, but here there is no upon root n. Then how?
root n, I think that one is repeating till n terms. So I guess it's
See,
n up.
if
And
if 1 upon root n repeating n times, then we can say that n upon root n, right? N times 1
yes,
upon root n. But this is n minus 1 time, and this is only 1. So how?
I just thought, so I told.
Okay, okay. So if you are answering by the book direct, then there is a mistake. Okay. So students, here this is 1. Now this 1 upon root n, 1 upon root n, this is n minus 1 time, right? So here n minus 1 upon root n. So by taking LCM here, root n plus n minus 1 whole by root n. So if I take root n common from the numerator, then here 1 plus root n minus 1 upon root n and upon root n. So this root n will be cancelled out, and the value of Sn is what? Which is greater than 1 plus root n minus 1 upon root n. 1 plus root n minus 1 upon root n. So if I am applying Munil, see if you are asking how n minus 1 come. See Munil, if we have 1 upon n, 1 upon n, 1 upon n, right? If see, this is 4 times, then what you are writing here? 4 upon n. Okay. Similarly, if I'm giving you 1 upon root n, 1 upon root n, 1 upon root n, then that is 1, 4 times 1 upon root n, right? Same, here we have, this is 1 and the remaining terms are n minus 1. This is 1 and the remaining terms 1 upon root n, 1 upon root n minus 1 times. That's why here n minus 1 upon root n. Got it? Okay. So, okay. Now, Sn is greater than Sn is greater than 1 plus root n minus 1 upon root n. So, applying the limit n tends to infinity, Sn, that is here Sn is equal to greater than limit n tends to infinity. If I am applying 1 plus root n minus 1 upon root n, that is what? That is, here this one is 0, this one is 1, 1 plus infinity. So we can say that limit n tends to infinity Sn is equal to root n. Root n is, that is, sorry, 1 plus n tends to infinity, Sn is infinity. That's why the series is divergent. So students, uh, this is the just proof. This is just proof by taking infinite series that the converse statement is not true. If we have any infinite series with the limit n tends to infinity un equal to 0, but it is not necessarily convergent. Okay, it may be convergent, it may be divergent, or it may be oscillatory, not necessarily convergent every time. Okay. Kushal, 1 is repeated n times, but not upon root n. 1 was repeating n time, but we cannot say that root n repeated n times. There is a mistake in the book. If you are answering by the book, there is a mistake in a book. Okay. See, this 1 upon root n, 1 upon root n, that is just n minus 1 time. So 1 upon root n repeated n minus 1 times, not n time. Okay. So let's move with the next topic. If you have any doubt, then let me ask in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll move. Kushal, what is your doubt? I didn't get your doubt. Kushal, see, if you have a box, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What does it mean? If you are adding this box, these are 5, 10. So you putting this 5 box, okay? You are keeping this 5 box. If I am representing this box like in this manner, then you put 5 tens, right? 5 box are there, right? So similarly, if this is, so similarly, if these box are n minus 1 time, okay, if these are n minus 1 time, then what you will be represent here? That is n minus 1 times these boxes are. Plus 1 is different. There is no any box here, right? So plus 1 is different there. So you cannot add in that. Okay. Okay. So let's move with the next topic, that is geometric series. Let me know in the chat box what is geometric series. I know you learn in your school days about the geometric series. What is geometric series? Anyone? What is geometric series? Sunil, this is just a theorem statement. This is not example. right? And we'll do many more example about the infinite series. So be patient, please. Yes, Dev. Series with a common ratio, it, that is geometric series. So let's consider the geometric series like, that is A plus AR plus AR square plus up to AR raised to n minus 1 plus up to infinity. What does the meaning of the geometric series? Student, please listen carefully. The ratio between the two terms are same. Here the ratio means AR upon A, that is R. Similarly, the ratio between these two concentric terms, that is AR square upon AR, that is again R. Similarly, the next term is AR cube. So AR cube upon AR square, that is R. So here the ratio is constant. Okay. That type of series is known as geometric series. Now, the sum of the first nth term of the geometric series, that is A plus AR plus AR square up to AR raised to n minus 1, that is A, here 1 minus R raised to n upon 1 minus R if R is less than 1, and this sum is represented by A R raised to n minus 1 upon R minus 1 if R is greater than 1. Okay, so students, this is the formula for the sum of the first n term of the geometric series. See, Sn is sum of the first n term. But there are two formula. If the ratio R is less than 1, then we apply this A is the first term of that series, 1 minus R is the ratio, 1 minus R raised to n upon 1 minus R. And if this ratio is greater than 1, then we apply this formula, that is A R raised to n minus 1 upon R minus 1. Right? So please keep in mind this formula. Now, for the convergence, divergence, and oscillation of the geometric series, let's check one by one. That is, first, if this modulus of R is less than 1, at that time, limit n tends to infinity, R raised to n is 0. Therefore, limit n tends to infinity, Sn is just A upon 1 minus R. So, students, please keep in your mind, if your ratio is less than 1, at that time, Sn, sum of first n term is just A upon 1 minus R. I repeat again, when your ratio R is less than 1, then R s to n tends to 0. Therefore, limit n tends to infinity, Sn is just A upon 1 minus R and is finite. Therefore, series is convergent. This is our first result. Number 2, if R is greater than 1, at that time limit n tends to infinity, R raised to n tends to infinity. It means limit n tends to infinity, Sn, that is limit n tends to infinity, A R raised to n minus 1 upon R minus 1 also tends to infinity. At that time, series is divergent. So you have to keep in your mind that when modulus of R is less than 1, your series is convergent. Modulus of R means what? That is your ratio between two terms. So when your ratio is less than 1, series is convergent. When your ratio is greater than 1, your series is divergent. Similarly, for the next, when your ratio R is equal to 1, Okay, when r is equal to 1, when it is possible, when all terms are same, then ratio is 1. It means your first term is a, second term is a, up to your last term. It means n times a. It means n times a. Now, the limit of n tends to infinity Sn, that is limit of n tends to infinity Na, and if I am applying n tends to infinity, so is equal to infinity. So here Sn tends to infinity, it means series is divergent. So students, our series are greater than 1, then series divergent. And if r equal to 1, then also your series is divergent. Okay. The next, fourth. Fourth one is when r is equal to -1. It means Sn is equal to, first term is a, second one is minus a, plus a, minus a, up to minus 1 raised to n and minus 1a. So the answer is 0 if n is even, and answer is a if n is odd. It means we have two answers when our r is -1. It means series is oscillatory. At that time our series is oscillatory. So please keep in your mind, when your ratio is -1, you can directly write down that your series is oscillatory. And the next, last, that is fifth one, when r is less than -1, where we can say that r is equal to minus k, where k is positive. At that time, limit n tends to infinity Sn, and here limit n tends to infinity a, 1 minus r raised to n. What is your r? Your r is minus k. So minus k raised to n upon 1 minus r. But your r is minus k, so minus minus plus here. Now, limit n tends to infinity a, this is 1 minus, this one is minus 1 raised to n, k raised to n upon 1 plus k. It means by applying n tends to infinity, here minus infinity if n is even, and plus infinity if n is odd. It means your series is, two different answers are there. So series is oscillatory, right? So conclusion about the geometric series. Conclusion about the geometric series. Conclusion is what? Number one, the given series is convergent if modulus of r is less than 1. The geometric series is divergent if r is greater than or equal to 1. And number 3, oscillatory if r is less than or equal to -1. So you can directly give the answer about the convergence, divergence and oscillation of the geometric series by just on the value of r, on the value of the your ratio. Okay. So if you have any doubt about the convergence, divergence and the oscillation of the geometric series, let me know in the chat box. And from tomorrow onwards, we'll do some example of the geometric series and then the next topics. If you have any doubt, let me know in the chat box.